Level 1. 7 spots left. The Lamborghini is rented. You will not find out for 3 years. Right now, it is 1:47 in the morning. You are 22, and the car fills your phone screen 6 inches from your face. A man not much older than you leans on the hood in a driveway that is not his either. His name is Brandon Cole. He says he was broke at 22 too. He says the difference between you and him is one decision. Then he looks into the camera like he can see your bedroom. I remember lying awake at 2 a.m. doing math that never worked. You sit up, because that is exactly what you were doing. Here is your math. You pick orders at a fulfillment warehouse for $14.25 an hour. 10-hour shifts, steel toes, a scanner that beeps 1,900 times a day. Take-home lands at $1,748 a month. You give your mother $400 of it because the house needs it, and she would never ask. She works the cafeteria line at the middle school and cleans 2 offices on Saturdays, and she keeps the bills in a plastic folder with a rubber band around it. And some nights the folder stays open longer than it should. Your car is a 2007 Civic with 189,000 miles and a heater with opinions. Your checking account holds $1,206. The webinar is free. Tuesday, 9 p.m. You register on your break between Rack 40 and Rack 41, packing strangers' orders for a store that is not yours. Tuesday night you watch 45 minutes of story, screenshots of dashboards, students named Tyler and Jalen who quit their jobs in 90 days. Then the pitch, the Ecom Freedom Blueprint, everything he knows, 62 videos, a private community, mentorship, value, he says, $9,940. Tonight, $997. A red counter appears in the corner. 7 spots left. You do not buy. Not because you are smart, because your card limit is $1,500 and your hands are sweating. Wednesday, you watch the replay. The counter says 7 spots left. Again, you notice it. You feel the noticing happen, a small cold tap on the shoulder. Then Hope walks in, and Hope does the typing. 3 payments of $397. At 2:04 a.m., you press the button. The confirmation email arrives before the fear does. At lunch, you tell Omar. Omar Reyes is 31, drives the forklift, and has worked this warehouse 9 years. Omar owns a business. One vending machine at Sud City Laundromat on 5th, bought used for $1,400. He named it Brenda. He talks about Brenda the way other men talk about a daughter in medical school. Every Sunday, he rolls her quarters at his kitchen table. Every month, you get her numbers whether you asked or not. Brenda cleared $381 in March. Brenda is carrying this family. Omar also knows the wholesale price of everything, and he cannot keep it to himself. You once watched him hold a break room soda up to the light and tell a stranger that is a 41-cent can. He was not bragging. He was grieving. You tell him about the blueprint. He asks one question. What's the product? Freedom, you say. It sounded better in the webinar. Omar nods slowly, the way you nod at a man on a ledge. Freedom's not a product, he says. Brenda sells soda. What do you sell? You do not have an answer. You have a login. The first module is titled Mindset. You watch all of it. You take notes like it is a real school. You think you bought a business. You bought the feeling of one. The difference has a price, and you just made the first payment. Level 2, the store. Module 6 says pick a winning product. The private community has a channel where winners get posted daily, and 400 students all see the same winner at the same moment, and nobody finds that funny. You pick a posture corrector. It costs $4.20 from a supplier overseas, and it will sell, the module promises, for $24.99 plus $4.95 shipping. You build the store in 9 nights after work. Shopify, $39 a month. A logo you make yourself at midnight. You name it North Vale Supply Company because it sounds like a place with a warehouse, and you would know. You sleep 8 minutes from one. The store looks real. That is the whole trick of this economy. Everything looks real. Facebook ads, $25 a day. The module calls it testing. Your bank calls it $175 a week. You learn a new language at 1 a.m. with your eyes burning. CPM, CTR. Add to carts. You start dreaming in acronyms on the nights you sleep. Day 4, 11:52. Your phone makes a sound it has never made before. Cha-ching. One order, $29.94. You stand up alone in your bedroom like something happened. You show Omar the screenshot at lunch. He is genuinely happy for 4 full seconds. Then, what did the sale cost you? You check. $61 of ads. So you paid a stranger $31. Omar says gently, to take a posture corrector off your hands. The module has an answer for that. The module always has an answer. Kill losers, scale winners, push through the dip. Week 6, you total it up on the back of a pick sheet, hiding in row 40 like it is contraband. Revenue, $2,340. 78 orders. Ads, $1,910. Product and shipping, $712. Shopify and apps, $118. You are $400 underwater before the course and before the part nobody screenshots. The part nobody screenshots arrives in week 7. Shipping from the supplier takes 38 days. The emails come in like weather. Where is my order? This is a scam. My mother's birthday was the 12th. 9 customers go straight to their banks. Chargebacks cost $15 each, plus the refund, plus a mark against an account you did not know could be marked. PayPal freezes $860 of your own money for 21 days. For your protection, the email says, you read it twice to figure out whose. You write to the support line, the mentorship you paid for. 3 days later, a 19-year-old named Coach Tanner sends back a video of himself reading a script about mindset. That night, an email arrives from Brandon Cole himself. Subject line, your store didn't fail, you quit before the breakthrough. Inside is an invitation. The inner circle, direct access. $4,997. You feel 2 things at once, and you will remember both forever. The first is a pull, real as gravity. The second is the small cold tap on the shoulder. 7 spots left. Your mother knocks on your door at midnight because your light is on again. She asks if you are okay. You say you are building something. She says okay in the voice that means she has started worrying on a schedule, like a bill. You close the store on a Tuesday at 1 a.m. Shopify asks why and offers a drop-down menu. None of the options say the truth. Total damage, $2,612 on a card that charges 26.99% for the privilege. Wednesday, the community posts an announcement. Gold trophy emoji. All caps. No store? No problem. Sell the blueprint itself. 40% commission. You have already lost money as a customer. Now they would like to promote you. Level 3. Link in bio. The commission is $398.80 per sale. You have watched the webinar 11 times. You could preach it from memory. That was never a skill you meant to acquire. It is the only one they actually gave you. The affiliate program has its own training and its own vocabulary, and the vocabulary does something to your stomach. Traffic, conversions, audience. Nobody ever says people. You start posting on TikTok. 3 a day, the training says, and you do it. In your Civic on lunch breaks. In your bedroom with a $34 ring light. 3 side hustles nobody talks about. How I made money in my sleep. You have never made money in your sleep. You point at floating captions. You use the sounds it tells you to use. Link in bio. 84 videos in 5 weeks. Video 61 catches something in the algorithm and does 212,000 views while you are on shift. You come back to your phone at 6 and it is warm from the notifications. That month, 2 people buy through your link. $797.60. The most money the internet has ever handed you. You do the thing you swore you would never do. You screenshot the dashboard and your thumb hovers over the post button. New caption, proof it works. You look at it for a long time. You do not post it. You want to believe that means something. Then Dylan messages you. Dylan Kessler, 18, buyer number 2. Lifeguarded all summer for it. He has questions about Module 3. A week later, he has a different question. At 11:40 on a Sunday night. Is there a refund? My mom found the statement. You walk him through the refund process like you are walking him out of a building you set on fire. It takes 9 days. The commission claws back out of your account, automatically to the penny, because the system was always built to run perfectly in both directions. Then buyer number 1 refunds too. Final earnings for 84 videos. $0, not a loss. Worse, a 0. A loss proves you were in the game. A 0 proves the game was somewhere else. You sit with a pencil in the back of another pick sheet and draw the machine the way you should have a year ago. Customers become affiliates. Affiliates recruit customers. The product is the course. The course teaches you to sell the course. The exit is a door that opens back into the entrance. You type one question into the community, the only honest sentence you have contributed in a year. Has anyone here made money on anything besides selling this? The message survives 4 minutes. Then it is deleted. Then your posting privileges are, quote, paused for negativity. You show Omar the clawback statement at lunch. He reads it all the way through, folds it once, hands it back like a doctor returning an X-ray. Keep that, he says. That's the receipt for the receipt. Then he slides his phone across the table. Brenda's month, $387. Up 6. No mindset, Omar says, tapping the screen. She holds the soda until somebody pays. That's the whole business model. You want one? You do not have $2. He buys it anyway. 41 cents, you say. 41 cents, he agrees. And for the first time in months, you both laugh. That night, you scroll your own 84 videos, muted, in order. A stranger pointing at air. But your hands learned things while the rest of you was being farmed. Hooks, cuts, pacing. What makes a thumb stop scrolling? You paid for a lie in installments. The skills came free, and nobody noticed you taking them. Level 4, the channel. The camera is your phone on a stack of library books. The microphone is $23 used. The set is your kitchen table, and the first video is titled, The Only Thing You Know for Sure. I lost $3,410 to a guru. Here is every number. No pointing at captions. No trending sounds. Just you, the statements laid flat on the table, and the math read out loud like a confession with receipts. It gets 214 views. The second one gets 96. You post one video a week for 11 months. You learn to edit on a laptop that sounds like a leaf blower. You learn retention graphs where the line dips when you breathe wrong. Thumbnails. How to talk to a lens like it owes you money. 61 videos. 200 subscribers becomes 900. YouTube's rule for getting paid sits on the horizon like a border checkpoint. 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours. You have the first and half of the second. Video 48 is the honest one. The refund machine, the pencil drawing of the funnel. Filmed at 1 a.m. with your voice half gone. It does 38,000 views in a week. The comments are 800 people holding the same receipts. Same guru, different name. Same card, different balance. The next 10 videos average 310 views. The algorithm does not repeat itself for you. It was never a door. It was a slot machine that paid once. The other math continues because it never stops for content. The card sits at $3,180 now. Interest working its quiet shift. You drop overtime to edit. You sleep 5 hours. A collections agency starts calling, and when you silence it, it finds the house line, and your mother answers it on a Sunday. Her name said wrong by a stranger. She does not yell. That is the terrible part. She goes to her room and comes back with her own plastic folder, the one you were never supposed to see inside, and sets it next to yours. $11,400. Hers. 4 cards, years old, hidden the same way, for the same reason. I know how it goes, she says. That is all she says. 2 people at one table, protecting each other from the same secret in opposite directions. Sunday night, Omar's kitchen, quarters and paper sleeves, lined up like ammunition. He listens to the whole 3-year tour, then prints something off an ancient inkjet in the hallway and hands it over. An invoice, Omar Reyes Vending, LLC. Amount, $500. Terms, net 30. Interest, 0. Memo, family rate. Friends forget, he says. Paper doesn't. Pay the card down before it eats you. You try to say something. He points at the quarters instead. 3 years you've been buying tickets to other people's businesses, he says. The course was his business. The link was his business. The channel is their business, and you work there for free. Brenda is boring. You know what boring does? He seals a roll with 2 thumbs. Boring compounds. You drive home with $500 and a sentence. 2 weeks later, on a lunch break, you open the laptop to write a script and try the tool half the warehouse will not shut up about. An AI chatbot. Free. You type, write a polite email to a collections agency asking for a payment plan. 9 seconds. It writes in 9 seconds what took you, last month, an hour and a half of shame. Every guru voice you have ever heard starts screaming at once. AI millionaire. 7 spots left, but you are not that man anymore. You ask a different question now. The Omar question. Not, how do I get rich off this? Who already has money and hates doing this? Level 5. The Missed Call. Saturday morning, 7:15, and you are sitting in Sud's City Laundromat with a notebook, watching a 64-year-old man lose money in real time. His name is Marv. He has owned this place 22 years, runs the counter alone through the morning rush, and the phone behind him rings like it is being paid to. In 3 hours, it rings 11 times. He answers 3. The other 8 callers wanted something, and whatever it was, they are giving it to somebody else right now. You check the listing on your phone. The hours are wrong. The photos are 9 years old. 41 reviews, not one reply from the owner, including the review that asks, "Does anyone ever answer the phone here?" Brenda hums in the corner. Omar restocks her on Saturdays. That is the only reason you're here, and it is about to be the reason for everything else. You spend 2 weeks building the boring thing, a number that texts back every call Marv misses. "Sorry we missed you. This is Sud City. Want wash and fold pickup?" Reply yes. The chatbot drafts replies to all 41 reviews. You read everyone to Marv out loud before it posts, and he edits one because I would never say folks, I say people. You fix the hours. You take new photos on a Tuesday when the light is good. The pitch takes 4 minutes. Marv says, "I don't do computers." You say you don't have to. "I do. $300 to set it up, $150 a month. Cancel whenever you want." Marv looks past you at Omar, who is loading Brenda with root beer. Omar nods once. That nod closes the sale. It took him 9 years of showing up on Saturdays to own a nod like that, and he just spent it on you. Month 1, 26 new wash and fold customers, and Marv's register is up $640. And the review about the phone has a reply now, drafted by a machine, approved by a human, signed Marv. He pays your first invoice in cash, counting it out of the drawer like a man paying a plumber, which you realize is exactly what you are. Your name is at the top of that invoice, not a username, your name. Omar's vending route becomes your map. A plumbing supply house, a towing yard, a barbershop, a tire shop. Every stop has a machine of Omar's and an owner with 2 busy hands and a ringing phone. Omar walks you in and says the same 7 words every time. "This is my guy. Ask Marv about him." The rule writes itself into you. Sell to people who already make money and hate the part you love. For 3 years, you watched hope get sold to broke men at midnight. Busy men at 9 a.m. are a different market. They ask 2 questions, does it work and what does it cost? And they pay on the 1st of the month. The AI writes the first draft of everything. The texts, the replies, the follow-ups. You write the last draft of everything. The middle, you learn, is where the money lives. Month 4, 9 clients. $1,610 a month, recurring on top of the warehouse checks. On day 28 of 30, you drive to Omar's and pay the $500 invoice in person 2 days early. He does not say thank you. He disappears into the hallway with it, and the next Sunday it hangs on the wall above Brenda's spot in a $6 frame, which Omar points out cost $1.80 wholesale. "First invoice anybody ever paid me early," he says. You roll quarters. Neither of you says anything else about it. Level 6. The payroll. 2 deposits land on the same Friday. The warehouse pays you $874 for 2 weeks of your back. Your clients pay you $1,915 for a month of your phone. You run that math for 1 more pay cycle, and then you give your 2 weeks to a supervisor who says, "We'll miss you at rack 40," in a voice that has said it before. On your last walk out, Omar escorts you the length of the building on the forklift at 2 miles an hour, hazards flashing, like a parade with 1 float. You niche down to home services, because the missed call math there is brutal and beautiful. A plumber under a sink cannot answer a phone, and a missed call in that trade is $400 walking to the next name on the list. You sell the fix. Text backs, review replies, before and after photos, quote follow-ups that go out at 7 p.m. when homeowners actually read them. The AI drafts, a human approves, nothing posts without eyes on it. That rule costs you hours and wins you every client who ever got burned by a robot that said folks. A roofer with a $70,000 truck teaches you the next lesson. He owes $1,200 and says he'll pay when the insurance pays. The insurance, as far as you can tell, pays never. You eat it, and that night, you write the rule into the contract. First month upfront, card on file, auto pay. The people who stiff you teach you faster than the people who pay you. By month 9, you are drowning in approvals at 11 p.m. And that is the night you scroll back through old DMs and find Dylan Kessler. He is 20 now, community college, and he answers on the first ring like he has been waiting 2 years. You ask what he has been doing. Editing, he says. I learned it from your channel. I watched all 61. Why mine, you ask? You were the only one whose numbers went down, he says. That's how I knew they were real. You hire him at $22 an hour. Real payroll, taxes withheld. A pay stub with his name spelled right. The first time you run payroll, your hands shake worse than they ever did buying the course. Payroll is the opposite of a funnel. Money leaves on a schedule whether you feel like it or not, and it is the most solid thing you have ever built. Month 14, 31 clients, $18,400 a month in revenue. After Dylan, the software, and the taxes you now cheerfully overpay, about $9,700 stays with you, and every dollar of it has a paper trail and a job. In March, the news finds you before you find it. Federal regulators, a settlement, a $9.2 million judgment against Brandon Cole, refunds ordered. Buried in the exhibits, a rental agreement. One Lamborghini, $299 a day. You wait to feel the win. What shows up instead is arithmetic. $9.2 million divided by $997 is more than 9,000 bedrooms at 1:47 in the morning. Dylan reads it over your shoulder and says nothing for a while. Then, I was exhibit level broke. You both laugh because the other option is worse. That night, you look up whether the refunds will ever reach anyone. Most of the judgment is suspended, the filing says, based on inability to pay. The man sold ability to pay. It was the only thing he never had in stock. Omar's update arrives on schedule. Brenda has sisters now. Diane at the towing yard, Carol at the plumbing supply. The girls cleared $1,150 last month. He still drives the forklift, and when you ask why, he shrugs. Health insurance is a product too. I know the wholesale price. Then a stranger with a blue check mark slides into your DMs. Love the story, bro. Big opportunity. 15 minutes? Level 7. The offer. His name is Grant. He calls himself a brand partner, and he has done this call so many times he can do it while driving. Here's the play, he says. Agency Accelerator. $1,497. We build the funnel. We write the emails. We cut the ads. We run the webinar. You just film. 60-40, your favor. Guys with half your story cleared 7 figures year 1. You ask to see the back end, and he screen shares it because he is proud of it. It is beautiful. Checkout pages, email sequences with open rates in green, and there, in the page builder, a toggle labeled scarcity. Under it, a field, spots remaining. The default value in the box is 7. Next to it, a timer. Evergreen countdown. The label says, resets per visitor, $79 a month. Grant says, industry standard. You stare at the number 7 for a long time. 3 years, it stared at you. You ask one question. What happens to the students who don't make money? Refund rate runs about 8%, Grant says, cheerful as a waiter. It's priced in. Somewhere inside that 8% is a kid with lifeguard money. Priced in. No thank you, you say, and close the laptop, and sit in the quiet for a minute, because somebody just offered you the machine. Keys first, and some part of you, the 1:47 a.m. part, reached for it. You needed to know that part was still in there. Now you know its price. 60% of somebody else's mother's folder. Grant follows up twice. The second message calls you, and this is a direct quote, a wasted asset. You keep the screenshot next to the clawback statement. Receipts from the same museum. Instead, you do the opposite. Mostly to see what happens. You dust off the dead channel and film one video, 41 minutes long. Everything I charge clients for, free. Every step, no countdown, no spots. The description has no link because there's nothing to buy. It does 340,000 views over the next year. And here is the joke you never saw coming. Business owners watch it and hire you anyway. They do not want the recipe. They want the cook. The most profitable ad you ever run is the one that gives everything away. The agency crosses $61,000 a month. Your share is about $19,000, and it arrives boring, taxed, and traceable, which you have come to understand is the luxury version of money. On a Sunday, you bring a laptop to your mother's kitchen table and open her plastic folder for the last time. You move $11,400 while she watches. Then she makes the calls herself. 4 cards, 4 calls. And you sit and listen to her say paid in full in 4 different tones of voice. After the last one, she puts the rubber band around the empty folder and leaves it on the table for a week, the way other houses display flowers. At 29, a spreadsheet built by a licensed accountant says you have crossed $1 million. It is the least dramatic sentence anyone has ever read to you. You celebrate by sleeping 8 hours. The Civic dies at 231,000 miles in the Sud City parking lot. Out of what you can only call loyalty, you buy a 4-year-old Tacoma with cash, $26,500. Omar circles it once. Dealer paid $19 for it, he says. I know, you say. You overpaid, he says, and gets in. Every few months, another grant finds you. The funnel hunts anyone whose story has a before and an after. You keep the after off the market. Level 8, 41 cents. You are 31, and the company runs without you 3 days a week, which took longer to build than the company. 14 employees. $1.9 million a year in revenue. Dylan runs operations now and is better at it than you ever were, which you tell him once a year in writing, stapled to a raise. You work Tuesday through Thursday. Nobody films any of it. When the strip that holds Sud City goes up for sale, the landlord retiring to a guest room in Phoenix, you buy it. $410,000. The bank asks for 2 years of returns, and you slide them across, clean, boring, stapled. That is the entire trick. It took 9 years to be able to hand a stranger a stack of paper with nothing hiding in it. Marv gets a 10-year lease at the old rent, and Section 14 of that lease states, in language your lawyer swears is technically enforceable, that the vending machine known as Brenda pays no rent in perpetuity. The lawyer thought it was a joke. It stays in. Omar has 34 machines now and a used van with "The Girls" lettered on the door. He finally quits the warehouse after 18 years, and his farewell is a case of sodas in the break room with a note taped on top. 41 cents each. Don't say I never gave you anything. You offer once to invest. He declines before you finish the sentence. Brenda's a family business, he says, and that is the end of it, and you are strangely relieved. Sundays you still roll quarters at his kitchen table. There is a machine that does it. You both know about the machine. Nobody mentions the machine. It is the only meeting on your calendar that has never once been rescheduled. The old wiring stays in you. You know your card balance to the cent, and the cent is 0, and you still check. Countdown timers on ordinary websites make your jaw tighten, and you hold every offer up to the light now, the way Omar holds a can. 14 months after the judgment, a familiar jawline comes back under a new last name. A whiteboard has replaced the driveway. The course is about AI now. The price is $997. Some numbers, it turns out, are load-bearing. The ad finds you too, one night, because the algorithm does not know you graduated. You watch the whole webinar the way Omar reads a label. Retail, $997. Wholesale, a rented backdrop, a plug-in set to 7, a story with the receipts removed. The margin is hope. Highest margin product ever sold, and never once a supply problem. And somewhere tonight, 3 streets or 3 time zones away, it is 1:47 in the morning. A man, 22, lies in bed with his steel toes by the door and his phone 6 inches from his face. A double shift is still ringing in his knees. Down the hall, a folder of bills is not quite closed. His card limit is $1,500. His checking account would embarrass him if anyone asked. No one asks. The ad finds him. A man not much older leans on a car that is not his, in a driveway that is not his, and says the difference is one decision. A red counter appears. 7 spots left. He notices nothing. Hope is already typing. At 2:04, he presses the button, and for the first time in years, the math in his head feels like it finally has an answer. He thinks he just bought a business. He bought the feeling of one. You know that feeling to the penny now. Retail and wholesale both. He does not know the markup yet, but he will.